What's up, guys? So I'm taking this new class, and it's a leadership class, and our whole class is really stoked because the teacher we got is this dude is so cool. He's hilarious. He's super charming, and the thing is, I didn't know what to expect when I started hearing him talk because he's very soft-spoken. But you can tell, like, this dude has this. He's seasoned, like he's just experienced a lot, and it's cool. And he was going over his background. And he said when he was 13, his background was like tech, so he was really into computers, starting like building computers at 13, 19. He developed his own software, and it was his own little company. And he didn't sell one unit of the software, and he ended up going to, and even though it was like really monumental at the time, like there wasn't software like that, but you know, I guess no one picked it up. Then he ended up going to the military, in the Navy or something like that. He was in a submarine for 4 years, you know, just getting bossed around. Just getting bossed around, and you know, he was making light of the whole thing, making jokes and stuff. And he ended up coming out of the military, developing his own, he just decided to be a CEO and make his own company, be an entrepreneur. And he had 50 people working under him, became super successful. Groupon ended up buying the company. They had him work for Groupon. They just asked like if he would work since he knew the company and stuff, and he ended up, you know, traveling all around the world. And so he just learned so much, and now he's teaching this leadership class. And he's not super old. I mean, he's probably he looks like he's either in his late 30s, at most like early 40s, I would say. He could be younger or older, I don't know, but just a very unique personality. And this dude is like, our whole class is super psyched for this class, and he's excited to teach us. And it just, the whole class being around leadership, it's interesting because I see this guy who has kind of this unique background, this tech dude who got into the military and went through that process and learned about that. And then, you know, decided to just step up and make his own company and, you know, learn from all these experiences to follow. Leaders, he said, there's a study, and it says 30% is like what you inherit. So 30% you're going to get from your parents in terms of your leadership skills. The other 70% is what you develop. And obviously not all leaders are the same. And in a lot of companies, like, or not even just companies, but just in life, anybody can be a leader. Like, you can have like a very specific position in a company and just have a powerful voice and have the ability to influence, you know, people that are even, you know, supposedly above you in the hierarchy of the company. In the places that I've worked in over the years, I've been fortunate in that the leader of whatever I was working on, they were very, very open. So for example, like, this one boss who would basically sit down and say, like, what are you guys' thoughts? Like, where should we go with this? And so my influence and the influence of my other coworkers was very important. And he was really open to this. And then he took, you know, obviously he did have the last say, but it never really felt like a group effort. And I knew that what I had to say was being taken very seriously. And that I had the ability to change the opinion of him or the other people in the room if I just if I explained myself really well, and my point was valid, and it was, you know, digestible, you know. So I think that's really cool. I'm excited to take this class basically, and you know, my thoughts basically on leadership is anybody. I think leadership has to do more with context, meaning anybody can be a leader, depending on, you know, what situation is happening. Obviously, in a group in a work situation, a company may define leadership in a very, very strict sphere, but I feel like by taking a class like this, and you don't have to take a class like this, but basically what was being explained is just having a stronger understanding of leadership skills basically gives you more flexibility to actually have influence in whatever you're doing, whether that's, you know, you participating in your family and just stepping up and doing things and trying to make a difference like in your social sphere, or actually like working towards either getting to a position of more leadership or taking your position you have currently and giving yourself more flexibility through the use of leadership, and, you know, making yourself maybe a more outspoken and a voice that is just carries more levity, because, you know, there's in the work situation, obviously you can influence people at other levels, and if you are very good at that, odds are you would probably there would probably be a point where people would start noticing, and you could potentially get promoted to a position that allows you, I don't know, more ears. Or if you're an entrepreneur, you know, taking those skills and going your own way, being your own leader, you know, your own visionary, you know, with a group that is standing behind you, who you give sort of similar, you know, ethos, I don't know what the word is, but, you know, you encourage that outspoken sort of, let us know what your opinion is and we're going to listen to you sort of vibe, if that's what you're looking for. But I don't know. I'm all about, you know, hearing everyone's thoughts, and then kind of, I'm more into the interpersonal stuff, you know, and so I guess that's kind of my style of leadership. But anyway, I think there is something there is something to be taken through actually learning about leadership. Obviously, you know, the most experience you're going to get is actually on the field, but not everybody in the field actually has that extra education that you can get through just reading a book, literally just reading a book, that could be helpful in working with others. So, or knowing how to work with people that are, you know, above you, in terms of like work and stuff, and learning how to talk to them and influence them. So, cool beans, guys. Peace. Have a good one.